Hi guys, I'm back with you again to do our salt painting activity, and you're going to need your piece of cardstock, your glue, some salt, watercolors if you have them. Otherwise I'm using food coloring, and I've got a couple of examples that I played with last week trying to do this activity, so let's get started. So first you're going to take your glue, and I'm just going to freehand a jellyfish on here and kind of outline it with the glue. Make me some squigglies. Maybe a little seaweed. And then you just fill it in. I do my outline, and then I fill it in with the glue. And this does take a little bit, getting it filled in. And you don't have to fill it in completely if you don't want to. You can leave spaces, especially if we're using cardstock like I am that is colored. And I'm going to have to stop for just a second because I forgot. You will need paper towel to put underneath this because sometimes the colors bleed through and you don't want that on your countertop or table, whatever you're doing this activity on. And you will need a trash can handy, close by, because after we put our salt on, we have to knock some of the excess salt off of our cardstock. And this activity, pretty much you're just using your imagination. You can do like I am with a jellyfish, just kind of freehanding. I also printed off an octopus last week and drew it on there. Put my print off, cut it out, and drew my little octopus. You can see where I traced that little octopus around, and then done the watercolors. And with this one, I had a lot of water in with my food coloring, and the colors didn't show up as bright. On my jellyfish I did last week, you can see the colors are a lot brighter, and I didn't use as much water. So there's another tip if you're using the food color. And I did use a salt shaker last week, but I used all the salt up, so I just went and got me a big thing of salt. And you just shake it over top of your glue. Again, I'll have to clean, you may have to clean some salt off the table, which I have had to do every time I've done this. But you want to make sure you cover up every bit of that glue. Okay, it's pretty well covered there. Now I'm going to show you. I've barely got any water in the bottom of this. Again, like I said, that's just to make the colors brighter. So I'm still going to put a few drops of the food coloring in. And I'm using blue, red, and yellow. And the food coloring that we have is the 4-pack, and it's got some green in it, but you know, my sheet's green, so I opted not to use that. And of course our paintbrush. But before I do that, I'm going to knock this salt off into the trash can. Okay. So I got the excess salt off. And you could use a bigger paintbrush. I like using the little one because you can be a little more detailed if you want to use different colors. Because of course, you know, you could mix the colors. Blue and red make purple. Red and yellow make orange. And you can make it any color you want to use. And like I said, you can use watercolors. We didn't have any on hand, so we had food coloring, so I just used food coloring. But you can see how it just kind of expands in that salt once you just barely touch it. You can see it kind of, the colors just kind of fan out. This activity, you just pretty much, you make it your own, however you want to do it. Okay, and time warp ahead, and here's my finished product. And you can see on my paper towel that's already kind of bled through a little bit. So I'm going to leave it there and let it dry.